Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the M1A2 at YouTube with another model review. Unboxing, building, finishing and reviewing Meng 1/72 M1A2 SEP Abrams TUSK 2, a renowned Chinese manufacturer that normally specializes in larger 1/35 scale, very detailed and top of the industry armored fighting vehicles and other subjects. This is the first I've seen in a scale accessible to me. Acquired at $20 overseas, with a retail differing from that to all the way of $40–50. The box contains 7 runners, 1 clear, all polystyrene injection molded, some with a sliding mold feature. Black and white instruction book containing English and very clear, easy to follow pictures. Small water slide decals. The box showcases a colour guide using AK paints, with a large enough palette square to compare with other brands if purchasing paints at the hobby shop. The instructions give a few tips and tools required, which I'll comply with, including sandpaper. Using standard scale model building techniques, I've cut the part off the runner and double cut the sprue, then trim and sand away the nub mark. Plastic cement is applied to a surface or edge, then sandwiched together. Then drying time allotted. The assembly diagrams and pictures in the instructions are crazily well rendered. A lot of fine detail and nice touches at every level, including the quality and touch of the box material. The project start is very standard, with assembly of road wheels and the bottom half of the hull. The fitting is quite outstanding and slots perfectly without error or gap. An aspect with older kits that are quite a bit of a struggle, the axles and suspension held the wheels in place and squared quite easily. Box assembly of the hull is also quite rigid, all free of sinks, injection pin marks and flash. Allowing 24 hours to dry, we attempted the tracks, and this was a bit challenging, getting the right lengths right and gluing them piece by piece. Kinda wish I reached for super glue for immediate rigid adhesion and setting, but even struggling along, it looked quite square with no obvious issues. Did have to run the slightest amount of putty and sand down. More so user issue than anything. I'm also unsure, but the plastic seems to be cut with something other than styrene, maybe ABS, as the plastic cement took a while to soften together and get at a state where it would adhere and melt. Only a mild annoyance in drying time, but it does not take away from the visual crisp and quality of the molding. Again, the detail and assembly is very well thought out. The top of the hull was detailed with optics, toe points and very fine detail, slotted right on top, and again, no gaps even around the wheels and tracks. With the busyness of this modern armour being quite basic from the 80s and extras being added over the years, this is well reflected in the parts of this kit, which I'm glad such a detail-oriented company approached. Lots of cutting and trimming of fine detail and then cementing it off, so you'd be spending majority of your time cleaning. The most satisfying components to work on is the added extra layer of armor and ERAs. They're always fun no matter what, and this has it in absolute spades and spares. Parts count is not even a chore, but you will be working on this for a number of hours. Assembling was about 5 across 3 days for me. That finished, we went straight to assembly of the turret. The main gun does have a flash mark around, which can't get around that, and fixed with a glass cone file. Just like the hull, a lot of detail was splashed all across it in layers. The machine gun nests, windows and other clear plastic optics does get a bit difficult. I sub-assembled them but did not attach them to the tank as per instructions, and left the clears out for after painting. They were very fragile and had to be stored somewhere special not to be crushed later on. Did take extra time and care with this. Moving along to the rear of the turret, the basket and extra stowage, also a ton of fun. All sorts of vents, scribed and raised detail, so much that would be wonderful to tuck into with multiple layers of paint and a wash. The turret has a bayonet twist fitting that you can slot in and turn around for articulation. The cannon goes up and down. If you're looking for more of a challenge and enjoy decent historical proportion and thought, this kit and manufacture rates very highly. I would mark it ideal for intermediate to start off, though experienced modelers will thoroughly love it. I lean more on indifferent as I'm more of a vintage builder and collector. I enjoy the break with something new. Not as offensive as a quick under an hour shake bake snap build. Pick up an extra bottle of cement. This one drank almost 20 ml of cement. Built and ready to go. Everything is separated by turret, hull, and 3 machine gun assemblies, all with decent points to attach with an alligator clip. Using budget automotive primer, I thinned it down with lacquer thinner and applied it through a budget airbrush at low PSI. Free of flaws and faults, a uniform to finish. Pulled out the Mr. Hobby Desert Yellow paint kit and selected 3 colors from a medium tan brown and going all the way to a lightish yellow. Starting with the darkest color, a base coat covering everything, including all the little details, nook crannies. The medium color shading along the sides, saturating the top and dust coating around. The final lightest coat had details picked up on the immediate top half and again dusted. The rear of the box has a fantastic color guide, so the researching and acquiring of references isn't even required. It pointed out a few details to cover as there's a lot to this kit. Machine guns, optics, road wheels, tracks, some stowage. Though almost all of it is in that desert color brown, sand yellow. Allowing it to dry the very next day, I filled down some Mr. Weathering color dark brown with gum turpentine and sludge washed it across all the detail and ERAs. Absolutely and very satisfying. The best process of this whole build. The definition, shadowing and detail all popped immediately, and it looked like something far better than what I've had any right to output of late. Gave that another 24 hours to dry and chemically harden, last adding a flat clear dust coat via airbrush to dull and uniform the finish. Super glued the machine guns and other parts into place and PVA glued all the clear bits. I was a bit anxious about this, but it all popped and slotted in quite easily under its own snap power, with the PVA glue just cementing it in later on for a more permanent fix. The decals are just maintenance notes and warnings where to stand and what hatches to open. I wasn't too fussed as or others aren't going to look that close, so just didn't bother with them. Already fairly burnt out and spend way more time on this for a subject that I'm just kind of curious about or just lazy. In conclusion, this is a really good kit. I'm really glad to have had a go at a Meng model. Can definitely highly recommend. They even avoided photo etch for every level of this. There might be some points where it's a bit thick with the guns and the glass, but don't mind too much. My efforts and finish is satisfactory, pretty happy, even proud to display this. And all in all, this concludes the build. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned for further content. Check out the description down below for references and all of the social medias for more content, posts and pictures. And we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you and see you later.